What the fuck is up? This is the News Underground. I am Abandoned Nihilism. We're going to jump right into it. We got the big news. Prigozhin finally bit the dust. Davey's got some Prigozhin memes. We're going to show those when we're done. We can show some of the memes. I'm not shedding a tear for Prigozhin. You know, it's a dirty business. It's a dirty business, all of this. That I will admit. I would prefer it had gone a different way. But with a character like Prigozhin, was it ever going to go any other way? There was only one direction for a man like that. And we were all saying it. All the pundits, right? All the talking heads. How is this guy walking? How is this guy on 2 feet? And how is this guy on social media posting videos in and out of Russia and Africa, gallivanting around like he just got, like he did not just try to coup the country. Now, technically, it wasn't a coup because his designated target was a general. So it was more of like an attempt at an expedited termination. So anyway, let's just get into it. We've, you know, Davey has been watching this all day, I'm sure. You've seen this already, but got to catch up a little bit. So let's just get a report on the whole situation. But I mean, I was not surprised. Per se, I guess I was a little surprised because I was like, well, I mean, it's 2 months. He's making seemingly diplomatic trips to Africa. He's talking to the BRICS leaders. You know, he's trying to sell Wagner. Apparently, though, some analysts were saying that Prigozhin's last video, we will watch it, had I guess this is the one right here, actually, right here. Had a kind of a feeling of desperation to it. So, I don't know. Let's get into it here.
Yeah, and we don't know yet.
It was in Mali.
No positive identification of these 8 bodies. And looking at the crash site, these bodies would be quite hard to identify because they'll all be mangled up and burned.
Yeah, and he's not fucking kidding. If you want to see the real deal Holyfield, check out the Abandoned Nihilism Discord. We'll put it in the chat for you, but I didn't want to watch the uncensored version. You know, it's basically just a torso with a bunch of bloody stumps and legs and arms and fucking everything, man. Big props to the people that investigate and clean those things up because, it's utterly disgusting.
Wagner channels have been saying in the last hour, this is their own Telegram channels, have been saying that they are confirming that Prigozhin is dead, along with Dmitry Utkin, who was the deputy, or was the co-founder of Wagner in 2014. Now, that's what some Wagner people are saying, but it's plausible. But it won't be confirmed for quite some time. But this is undoubtedly big news because whatever it does to the war in Ukraine, and in a way the effect on the war will probably be marginal, but it reinforces the fact that Russia is a gangster state. It's run in a gangster way.
Yeah, no, I mean, we were expecting it to happen immediately, and it was like, I'm kind of surprised that Putin, it's so weird, right? So like everyone's saying, oh, he's doing this because of, he didn't want to turn him into a martyr, or, maybe he wanted to make it seem like an accident. No, man. If you wanted to make it seem like an accident, you don't shoot it down with an anti-aircraft weapon. And, the innocent people that got roped into this, at the very least, the pilot and the crew, we don't know, though. They could have all been Wagner loyalists. It could have been, and there's what was Davey? What the hell is Captain SS's name again? The guy with the motherfucking SS tattooed on his goddamn collarbones. He might have been killed as well in this crash. He was the head of Wagner, I guess, or the top general of Wagner or something like that. I think Putin wanted to take Wagner out of position. If he killed Prigozhin immediately, he would have been mostly Dmitry Utkin. Thank you, Davey. Dmitry Utkin. I've been calling him Captain SS. I mean, because the guy was, an unashamed, out and proud, I love Nazis guy. I mean, I've never seen more like I love Nazi tattoos than this guy. I mean, he took it to a whole other level, man. Outside of just putting the swastika square on his fucking forehead, which I'm sure there was a lot of sleepless nights for Dmitry Utkin. He's like, man, I really want to put that swastika on my forehead, but, oh boy, my career prospects. I swear to God, that guy, at the very least, he thought about it for several hours, right? He just had a good think about it. Like, should I put that swastika on my forehead? I know I want to. If he killed Prigozhin immediately, he would have been able to mostly disarm Wagner and move them to Western Belarus. Russian MOD took most of Wagner's military equipment before moving them to Belarus. Yeah. No, it seemed to be like there was some loose ends being tied up. And Prigozhin was just along for the ride, basically, because he wanted to, he thought maybe there was a place for him at the end of this. But yeah, that's what it seems. It seems like, Putin and Russia wanted to secure the useful elements of this mercenary group, and then it's probably like they were like, okay, we're gonna do it, let's just wait for the next opportunity. I doubt it was like, okay, like a really intricate plan, but it was like, okay, here's an opportunity. How many innocent people are gonna die? Oh, less than 10. Okay, yeah, pull the trigger. Putin doesn't care. Come on. It's not even going to make the Russian, 10 o'clock news, and the innocent people, right? There was probably zero mention of the innocent people that were blown up, along with Prigozhin in the Russian media, because it's got to be portrayed as a good thing, or at the very least ambivalent. We'll be able to get a look at the Russian media perspective soon. We'll see if I can get some clips today.
From the top right through to the very bottom, with corruption down at the lowest possible level. And of course, most people are saying in the West, well, if Prigozhin's dead, this has only been a matter of time. He's been a dead man walking since the 24th of June, when this attempted coup seems to have been tried, the march from Rostov on Moscow.
No media analysts really talk about what I talk about, though, the fact that he wasn't going after Putin. No one really mentions that, which I do find to be journalistic malpractice.
It makes President Putin look very weak, the fact that Prigozhin not only got away with it, but was then transiting between Belarus and Moscow, and he was going back to Moscow. He had a meeting with Putin on the 29th of June, along with 35 of the Wagner rebels, and Putin didn't even get what he wanted at that meeting. So Putin has looked very, very weak. Also, I mean, one learns in these sorts of news times, these immediate events, to be a little bit careful because many more things come out in the next 24 hours afterwards. Lots of complications, lots of other angles seem to crop up. So we do have to be a little bit careful. But it's not obvious that he's dead at the moment. He probably is, but there's still some plausible idea that this might have been some sort of setup.
It's pretty wild, but it's not beyond the realm of possibility that Prigozhin is faking his death. It's not wildly. I mean, if there was a guy that would have the resources to try, he's got money, military experience, connections all over the world. Someone might have tipped him off, right? Or it might have been intentional. Like, okay, my number's up. I know they're gonna attack me, so let's make it look good. Maybe it was a Putin and him being like, okay, you got to fake your death. I doubt it though. Putin isn't the type to leave someone alive because he was a friend. You know what I mean? Like, that's not his MO, really, Putin. Like, friendship is a utility. It's not something to be cherished. So, once Prigozhin's utility was dried up, that his number was set in Putin's eyes, at least from my opinion. I don't know. It's I'm not fucking, I'm not saving John Malkovich here for Putin.
It's certainly not obvious that Mr. Putin may have had to be behind it. There's any number of people in Moscow among the elite who wanted him dead. There's been rumors for a long time that Timchenko, for instance, Gennady Timchenko has had a contract out on him for well over a year. That may or may not be true, but these rumors swirl around. Prigozhin only had one friend, really, among the elite, and that was Udoy, a man who was the governor of Tula. Who seemed to get on with him as well as Shoigu, the defense minister. But I mean, everybody else in Moscow, all of the elite, all of the people close to Putin, detested Prigozhin and thought he was very dangerous. So in that respect, this is not surprising, but lots of detail, I'm sure, other detail, confusing detail, will emerge in the next 24, 48 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, as you say, the devil is in the detail. And for viewers joining us now, we are reporting that there has been a plane crash north of Moscow. These pictures coming into us here at Sky News of that plane tumbling down through the skies over Moscow. And we also brought you the pictures of that.
The amount of pain and suffering that this guy and Dmitry Utkin caused doesn't really compare to the fear and pain that they experienced on the way down. They really deserved worse. I mean, we're talking about some extremely, and I won't get graphic with you folks, but there's few human beings on earth who deserve a more painful death than these guys. But, I'm not a death monger. I'm not a warmonger. It is what it is. They're gone, soon to be replaced by someone equally as horrific, I'm sure. So I shouldn't complain, but I gotta say, these guys deserve far worse than a fucking plane crash.
Crash site. Interestingly, Moscow correspondent Diana Magnay saying that there was also reports of a second plane right behind that one, zigzagging its way through the skies behind it. So there is a lot of intrigue tonight around.
So it might have been a Russian fighter jet shot it down. Sure, why not?
The plane crash, the nature of this plane crash, whether or not indeed Yevgeny Prigozhin was on board. And of course, President Putin tonight at that concert marking the victory in Kursk, seemingly going about his business as though nothing has really happened.
Yeah, it doesn't mention him.
I mean, he's in Kursk to mark the great Second World War tank battle of Kursk, the victory.
I have a feeling that's the direction Putin's going to go in. Just literally doesn't make an official statement whatsoever about Prigozhin, just goes about their business as if he never existed, I like that even the Wagner Telegram channels say Prigozhin is in hell. I mean, was there any other direction for, people like this? These just horrific people that are, they deserve everything that they get. They really do. You know, and I say that so rarely, but I mean, so rarely is there such a group of people so proud of their brutality and their disgusting nature. Look into the Wagner folks. Look into the Wagner mercenary group, okay? And come back and tell me, oh, yeah, these guys deserve to be defended by the Gray Zone, by Aaron Mate and the motherfucking rest. Atrocious. If you're not calling out the crimes of this group when you're talking about them, you're doing a disservice.
Kursk, which is part of the Russian national picture, as it were, of the
and
Great
that's not to be
Patriotic
celebrated. That's
and the
not
aircraft
cool.
Footage is quite interesting. Yeah, reports of the 2 aircraft are in the air. Early reports, they were both Prigozhin's aircraft, and the second one turned back to Moscow after the incident.
You got to defeat those people.
That may or may not turn out to be true. Lots of speculation that one aircraft may have shot down another aircraft. There's a little bit of supporting evidence for that when we see that the piece of film that we're running now of the aircraft falling out of the sky. I mean, when an aircraft blows up in midair, it doesn't fall out of the sky in a coherent way. It just breaks up and the bits fall out of the sky. In this case, when you see the aircraft coming down, it's sort of leafing down. It's like sycamore leafing down, as if it's been hit or some sort of catastrophic failure has taken place in its command system.
Maybe a statue bomb on the plane, right?
System in its flying control.
Well, Banger V1, make sure you check out the News Underground. We've been covering this since literally the start of the war. The war actually started live on stream, and we've been covering it ever since. This is the home. This is the place for the best news on Twitch. Not really. Probably not. Probably not. The people that watch have told me other channels are better. I do the best I can. Shut up.
Controls. So it doesn't, to me, look like an aircraft that had a bomb on board, but it does look like an aircraft that has been hit by something outside, which does enough damage to wreck the control surfaces, and so the aircraft goes into a death dive that the pilots can't do anything about. When you see the way the aircraft comes down,
if you got no thrust, you got no lift, so you're just shoot.
It has that look about it, but I'm only guessing from what we see on the clips that we've been running.
Yeah, and the truth is, Michael, that we may or may not ever get an investigation because all of this will be in Russia's hands on what information is released. But this certainly reminiscent. I was speaking earlier to Michael Bosicu, who was the OSC spokesperson and senior fellow at the Atlantic Council, who gained access to the crash site of MH17. And we know about Russia's hand behind that too. Let's talk a little, Michael, about President Putin's playbook, so to speak. We know that how he deals with adversaries, he deals with them swiftly and ruthlessly, no matter where they are. Of course, we know about the poisoning of Alexander Litvinenko, Sergei Skripal, and Boris Bondarev saying to me that this is a far more brutal way of dealing with somebody, if indeed President...
I just hate how he had to rope innocent people into this. You know, I get you're taking out Dmitry Uts, right? Okay, 2 for 1. But why'd you have to bring down it? You know, what happened to just shooting people, right? When did that stop happening? What happened to getting one guy out there with a sniper rifle and clack, right? Is that just so... It's so hit or miss. It's actually not it's not like the movies where it's like, that's actually really an undependable way to kill somebody. So I don't know. I feel really bad that, on his way out, he got to take a couple more innocent people with him. Which is just, he's a butcher. He's a butcher. So it seems too apropos for such a scumbag. Wish I could stay though, but I have a massive headache. Was planning to go? Hey, no problem, Davey. You've been following this all day. No biggie. Thank you for coming in. I'm just gonna do something really quick for YouTube. I was planning on doing the War and Peace Wednesdays, but it's looking like we'll have to postpone that till tomorrow. No biggie. So yeah, thank you, Davey, for coming in. I mean, it's really it's the least shocking assassination I think I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean?
Putin is behind this.
Like this and Nick Fuentes, you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, I'm not going to be surprised at all.
But we have seen MH17 crash too.
Yes, I mean, the MH17 crash was created by a Buk missile, a Buk anti-aircraft missile, that was under the control of Gherkin, the man, Strelkov, his real name is, but he called himself Alexander Gherkin, who's now been arrested, incidentally. Nothing to do with this. He was just been arrested for being anti-Kremlin because he's such a Russian nationalist. But the MH17 aircraft was brought down by a missile fired by the separatists in the Donetsk region in 2014, I think it was, wasn't it? And then the other poisonings, Litvinenko and Skripal, and a number of other poisonings around the world and people falling out of windows, is generally attributed to the GRU, which is the military intelligence arm. And the GRU have been, as we're going through their own assassination list for a number of years, and our own intelligence people have said that they know that Putin has, as it were, approved this list. He may not have given orders for any particular assassination, but he certainly approved the fact that the GRU go around the world doing all of this.
Yeah. Keyframe interval recommended 2. Oh, okay. Oh, that's nice. Stream Elements giving me a keyframe recommendation. I'll take a look at that. So real quick, let's just take a look at some of the other clips that have come out here. Dang. I mean, just hit. Oh, and there you hear the boom right there. So you actually hear it. I wonder why they're, so it must have, oh shit, that's super loud for you. Very sorry. So I'm wondering, maybe the initial boom is what got people looking up. Damn, dude. That is nasty. That is a nasty dive. Yeah, then he runs and gets a better position here. Good job, cameraman. Ooh. Ooh. It looks like, actually, it looks like a whole section of the plane is gone. Like half the plane is, if you see it right here, there's a whole chunk missing right there. Looks like, so it looks like maybe whatever hit the, always with the damn tree in the way. Move to the left. Bomb or missile. I'm gonna go ahead and say, I mean, there's reports of another plane, of sightings of another plane, but I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen any evidence of that. And looking at this, if you look at it, I think what we're looking at right here is the front of the plane. This is the wing that has been blown off. What we're seeing on fire, I think, is the second engine, because I think there's 4 jet engines on here, 2 on each wing. So I think we're seeing the second one on fire, and there's no tail, there's no back, which is where you would put the luggage. Welcome back, Full Metal. So that is where the luggage would be. Well, let's see here now. Hold on. Let's take a look. Yeah, actually, yeah. So this is more up close. This actually looks like the back of the plane. So it's still in place. Still in place. So it looks like, okay, so it looks like whatever, I'm going to say missile. I'm going to say missile because it looks like it was a direct hit on the wing. Look at it right here. Full complete wing, full complete wing, full complete tail, full complete front, partial wing. I think that'd be the right side, possibly. Partial wing. And then, yeah. Well, there's reports of people seeing a jet. I just haven't seen the footage of that. I haven't seen any proof of that yet, but there are reports of that. The tail is still intact. Oh, and there it goes. It breaks off right there. There it goes. It actually breaks off right there on camera. You can see it snap in half right there. Crack right there. Crack right there. And there it goes. Right there. So yeah, I'm gonna say missile to the engine on the wing there. Nasty. That's a nasty way to go. And you know, fuck you, Putin, for roping in some innocent people. Who knows how innocent? But this is a hell of a way to go, man. You know, Prigozhin and make sure I keep getting his name, Dmitry Utkin, absolutely deserve this. The 8 other people, supposedly there was 10 people on the plane. 8 other people. You know, unless they were card-carrying members of Wagner out there with their sledgehammers, I have a hard time believing that they deserve to die this way. You know, there was 2 motherfuckers on that plane supposedly that absolutely deserve to die this way, but there's, you know, pilot, the crew, who knows? And yeah, it does feel very Russian, right? And like I said, it's like, it's kind of apropos for these individuals who got so many people killed, innocent or otherwise. Yeah, man, it just isn't right. So, you know, it's not, I'm not shedding a tear for Prigozhin. I'm not shedding a tear for Wagner or Dmitry Utkin. But I have a hard time going, you know, just, you know, fucking busting out the celebration song and fucking, you know, doing a little dance. You know, doesn't quite feel like a dancing moment, you know. What happened to, you know, snipers and stuff? What happened to that stuff? I think it was an opportunity. You know, someone, you know, like, hey, Putin, you know, they went to his desk. By the way, you know, Prigozhin's in our airspace and in his private jet. What do you want to do about it? You know, what do you want to do about it? Ah, okay, hit the button. I mean, it's a guarantee. It's almost a guarantee. You know, it's almost a guarantee, and it sends a message. You know, because all these other, like what you're talking about, Full Metal, IED, car bombs, you know, just a straight up assassination with a gun. Lots of things can go wrong, right? And then you got Prigozhin hiding, and it's a lot harder to get to him, right? Because he knows how to hide properly. Yes, Homeless Bag, I will be streaming the debates. I always stream the debates. Almost always, at least. I try to. But yeah, Homeless, you can depend on me. We'll be doing it tomorrow. I believe they're happening tomorrow. But yeah, for sure, we're going to get that going. It's going to be a nothing burger. I mean, what's going to be interesting is seeing the different, how the different, you know, Republicans are going to tackle this. Is Ron DeSantis really going to defend Trump, or is he going to double down on criticizing Trump, you know, make this his big debut per se, right? Chris Christie's going to go in on Trump like he has been, but he's rhino, dude. Chris Christie's a rhino, man. He could literally give personal blowjobs to every single ultra MAGA in the audience, and they'd still be pulling that. You'd be like, that was some great sloppy toppy. Trump. Trump. Thanks, Chris. Trump. So there is nothing Chris Christie can do. And then the rest of them tonight. Is it? It's not tonight, is it? What? I thought it was tomorrow. What are you talking about? Oh my God. Is it happening? Oh shit. Oh, sorry. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I think the issue is StreamYard. I'm not sure if StreamYard.
Oh, that is funny. Hey, greetings from South Boston. Shit, I thought this was happening tomorrow. Fuck me running. I haven't been in the best sorts. Live GOP. Where does this Rumble? Okay, let's do this. Weird that these guys are doing. Oh, they're streaming it live on Rumble. Is that what they're doing, huh? All right, hold on. Okay, bye YouTube. We're done talking about Prigozhin. Fuck you, Prigozhin. Fuck you, Putin. But we're moving on. We got shit to do. Bye YouTube.